Hello and welcome back to my fundamentals course for cybersecurity. One of the foundational things that I always get is, what are my next steps? So I'm going to kind of walk you through what I would recommend you do after you finish this course that I put together for you. So the first thing is, if you've gotten yourself an InfoSec skills account, it's going to be a lot of information in here. If you just look at my screen now, there's so much. We have over 500 courses in here. So how do you know what to do next? Well, the first thing I would say to that is I would encourage you to reach out to me and, ask me individually if you want me to give you individual advice. But from a general standpoint, now you can go into the foundational offerings that are in here that are more detailed and in depth to where, for example, we spend an hour talking about Windows command line. There are courses in here where you might spend 8 hours talking about Windows command line to take you further down that rabbit hole. But you kind of want to know like what your path should be, how you go forward, and what you should do to continue to solidify your foundation so that if you pick pen testing or risk management, or you just plan to do policy or security management or cyber threat hunting or incident response or whatever it is you end up doing as a cyber career, you have a solid, well-rounded, in-depth type of foundation. So what I would recommend is once you're done with this course and you've completed it, kind of the standard entry level course for cybersecurity and foundational stuff is going to be Network Plus. So in your skills account, go to Learning Paths. And then in Learning Paths, what I want you to do, and let me just delete this one, is before you go and click on any of the classes or any of the paths, I want you to create your own custom learning path. And I'm going to walk you through creating that. This is going to be Keytron's official recommended foundational path after my foundational course. All right. So you want to click on create custom learning path. And now we're going to search through and find our own things that we want to add. The first thing I want you to add or search for is Network Plus. Now, the beauty of this is not only does it give you foundational concepts of networking, and it goes into a lot more detail than what we did in the little time that we had in this course, but it also prepares you for an actual certification. And for a lot of people coming into cybersecurity, Network Plus is one of the first certifications that they end up with. Now, once you've added that, if you go back to your learning paths, you can see that up at the top here, we've got Network Plus added. Okay. And if we click on it, we go in, we can see that we've created a class or a path called Network Plus. Now, if Network Plus is your only goal, then you can leave that. But let's go ahead and go back and create one more path that we're going to add Network Plus to. So we're going to name this path Cyber Security Foundations to match what I named this course that you're watching right now. And we're going to give it a description. Keytron's recommended path for foundational cyber. All right. And let's just save that learning path. And then for this path named Cybersecurity Foundations, we're going to start adding courses. So I'm going to say add course. And the first one I'm going to look for is Network Plus. Now at the top here, you can see there's a learning path called CompTIA Network Plus. I want you to kind of notice now, when you see the little blue pathway, that's a learning path. That's an entire collection of courses. All right. So what I'm telling you is this learning path that you just finished of mine, which is cybersecurity fundamentals or foundations, I'm going to now have you make a path of learning paths to get you to where you have a solid, deep foundation. So we're going to add Network Plus here, and you just click that, right? And you can see what Network Plus is. You can see the kinds of things that are in there. You can kind of take a look at it. But that's the course that you want. You want it to be the one that looks like this. Now, there are other courses in there that have the name Network Plus associated with it, but this is the one you want to make sure you add to your actual learning path, right? So now you know that's the one. When we come in here, let's go in here and add that course back. When you come in here, as we said, Network Plus, the path is just a collection of courses, and all of our paths are really collections of courses. So what we want is to make sure you pick the foundational things. One of the things that's over sometimes a little bit much for people coming in is all the different terminologies. What types of networks, like when we look at network topology, the types of twisted pair and all that stuff. So you want to get those things in there so that you can spend time with them and kind of get it under your belt so that it's not something that gives you a hard time. So you want to start with things like the network security components. So we're going to say close actions menu, right here. Say add the learning path. Now, when this pops up, you want to make sure you pick your learning path that you're creating, the cybersecurity foundations, and then say add the learning path. All right. Now, if you go back to learning paths and look at your custom path, and we go inside there, you'll see that now you've actually got that course in there, the network security device types. So then we're going to go back. We're going to go to the Network Plus path again, and then we're going to look for courses in there. Sorry, that's not what we want to do. Go back. Search for the Network Plus path. And then under here, you're going to look for the one that says Network Security Technologies. I want you to add that one. Go to Additional Actions, say add the custom learning path, and then you're going to select from the drop down your cybersecurity foundations and say add the learning path. Now I want you to repeat this process for the following. I want you to also add the course Network Fundamentals, and I also want you to add Secure Network Design. And again, we're adding all these to the cybersecurity foundations. And then down here, if you don't see all of them, click View More and scroll down. And I also want you to add, and this one is kind of important, understanding networks. Now, some of these are going to be reinforcements to the things that I taught you in this foundational course, but that's okay because some of those things need to be repeated over and over again. So I'm giving you these in this order, giving you these in for a reason. Now, after you're done with that, we're going to now search for Security Plus because this is generally one of the second courses that people end up going into when they're getting into cybersecurity. And part of what I'm doing here is I'm helping you cut through some of the stuff that's not necessarily needed, because if you're going to go and take an official Security Plus bootcamp, you're going to get a lot of this information anyways. So what I want you to do is look for the course. We're scrolling here. Security Technologies and Tools. You want to add that one. Network Security Components, which we should have already added. So we're going to keep going down. I want you to add Security Policies. If you remember in my foundational course that you're watching now, we did talk a little bit about security policies in that section of the course. So this is just going to give you a deeper look into that. All right, keep scrolling. Go to View More if you're not seeing all of them there, and keep going down. I want you to also add the Hardware and OS Security course. All right, keep scrolling. And if you need to hit view more, do that, because what we're getting to next is I want you to add asset security. All right, and now we're going to go back to our search. I want you to put in Windows. Okay. Now, there are two courses that I want you to put in from Windows. One is Windows internals, and the other one's right under it, Windows under the hood. So we're going to go additional actions. And we're going to add that, Windows internals, and then right away go ahead and add Windows under the hood. All right. So scroll down, and towards the bottom, we probably need to keep going here. I don't see it. All right, so there we go. So I want you to grab this command line basics under CyberRange and add that. I knew it was in here somewhere. And then the last one I want you to add for your foundational is type in Linux. All right. So under there, you will see there's a Linux CyberRange. Now I've already touched on this, but go ahead and add that to your path. And it looks like it's already been added. And then the last one is firewalls on Linux. Now this is going to get you into IP tables and stuff like that. So go ahead and add that to your learning path. And if you're still, just getting yourself ready to try to kind of get ready to take your first boot camp, those are things I want you to add. Now, if you notice, if you look at my cybersecurity foundations, now it's a total of 12 hours and 5 minutes. I want you to make the time to go through all the courses that are in here, to make sure you see and understand all these things. And one of the keys, if you can't do anything else, the one thing that I recommend you do is definitely go through the CyberRange exercise that I gave you, which was the Linux CyberRange recommendation. So if you look at the CyberRanges, there's one that's just named Linux. It goes into all of the Linux command line stuff, not just basic, but advanced. I strongly encourage you to go through this as well. This will just solidify and add on to your knowledge. Now, of course, there's PowerShell and all these things that you'll get in some of the more advanced courses in here, but this is the path that we just created that I recommend you create for yourself to get you through to the point before you actually jump into a paid for expensive boot camp. Okay. Once you go through all these exercises, I believe it will definitely prepare you to then kind of branch off and start your path down whatever specific career it is you're trying to do in cybersecurity. And trust me, that Linux command line thing, you will definitely get some value from that. Now, one of the things I get asked a lot is which courses are yours in here. I'll show you the primary ones that are mine. So when you go in Learning Paths and you do incident response, that incident response course is my course, and I believe it's probably my most popular course. So if you go to incident response, you can see there's exercises in here. That's the course, but there's also an incident response learning path right here, and this is actually me. I even have a project in here for you. So if you complete the course, you can actually go do a project with me where you have to do all these things and solve 2 incident response cases. Now, I don't recommend this for you that are brand new. Remember, this course is for people that are completely brand new trying to get in. I definitely don't recommend this because it's not for someone just trying to get in. It's for someone that's already been in the industry for a while. Like, it's pretty advanced stuff that you're going to be doing here. But this is the course that I teach. Of course, the course that I'm most well known for is the ethical hacking. So if you do a search for ethical hacking, you will find that course in here as well. The learning path for it is here. And you'll find some interesting stuff in there as well. So a lot of this is hands-on stuff to where you're doing things with me, but some of it is also me just demonstrating. And as you can see, even back then, I was a PowerPoint expert, or excuse me, a Microsoft Paint expert, because I'm actually in here illustrating the DLL hijacking by first showing you what it looks like in PowerPoint, and then to my normal style, after I illustrate in Microsoft Paint what it looks like, I go into demonstration mode and I actually walk you through how to do a DLL hijacking attack. Now, as you can see, again, this is not intro stuff, but these types of videos and these little courses like this are the ones that made me successful, and one of the more successful authors on the Skills platform, is because I generally try to demonstrate everything that I talk about. So hopefully this gives you something to look forward to and for something for you to build. As you can see, I've built the Cybersecurity Foundations path here. I'm going to do several more of these. What I plan to potentially do is, just like I just did this fundamentals and foundations course for cybersecurity in general, I think I'm going to add on top of this layers: cybersecurity foundations for becoming a pen tester, cybersecurity foundations for becoming a forensics person, so forth and so on, to where I have a foundational for each chosen career path. Now, this one that you're watching is for whatever career path you choose. These things are going to definitely help you. If you're going to go the non-technical route and be a policy person or a risk management person, we touched on that some, but also if you're going to be that person, having a little bit of understanding of the technical will definitely make you more powerful as a risk management person. And if you're going to be the technical route, you're going to do a pen tester or be a threat hunter or an incident response person, having the perspective of a risk management person and of a policy person will definitely make you a better operator when you're doing these technical exercises, because you know what the end result is going to be and you know what's behind it. So hopefully you've enjoyed this course, and I really hope that this part here at the end, where I'm giving you a recommendation on next steps before you jump into an actual boot camp, has been beneficial to you. And I think that you'll find that if you do the things that I'm recommending here, when you go into that boot camp, it won't be as overwhelming to you, and it'll be more like almost like a horizontal slide into it versus this big learning curve stepping up into it. So thank you for watching this entire path. I look forward to your feedback, look forward to hearing from you, and I hope to see you again in another course. If you like this course and you want to subscribe to other courses of mine, you can find that information in those courses at infosecinstitute.com/authors/Keatron Evans.